All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a particular company that I think can stand and weather any storm, okay? Whether it be a political climate turn, whether it be rising interest rates or an inflationary economy, this company, I believe, is positioned and has positioned itself to be able to weather the storm for years and decades to come. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Okay, let me clue you in. A while ago, I did a series called Recession Proof. And the focal point of doing the Recession Proof series was to provide stocks and insight on companies that I believe was well positioned to weather any climate for years to come, so that we could help, so that I could build up and we could build up the backbones of our portfolios to where no matter what happens in the future, we would be stable as investors. And with a company like Walmart, it's really a two for one. So today we're talking about Walmart, one of the most stable companies on the planet. On the planet. Ticker symbol, if you don't know, if you're unaware, let's inform ourselves. Let's equip ourselves with the knowledge. Ticker symbol, WMT. Go ahead and look them up. Do your own research. Make sure, don't just take my word for it. Look them up. WMT is the ticker symbol, okay? And today we're talking about why it might actually be a really, really, really great investment, one of the smartest investments you can make right now. Right now, okay? Now, Walmart isn't a flashy AI stock company. It's not a high-flying tech company either. But what it is a powerhouse that is quietly evolving. And they're positioning themselves for long-term growth in ways that a lot of people and a lot of investors have not considered. And I don't think the common investor really understands or even knows. So let's start with the basics. Walmart is the largest retailer in the world. They're operating over 10,000 stores across 19 different countries. 19 different countries. That means outside of the U.S. That already positions them in a way that other businesses and brands don't have access to. We're talking about they're serving over 240 million customers every single week. These are the numbers that they're doing. Okay? That kind of scale gives them massive buying power. It gives them cost advantages, and it gives them an unmatched distribution network, which is probably one of the most important things that we're talking about today when it comes to Walmart. Because even in tough climates and tough economic times, Walmart is going to tend to be able to hold up extremely well because it's where people go to what? Save money. In an inflationary environment, that's a huge advantage. Walmart has proven time and time again that it can perform in both good and bad times, making it one of the most defensive recession-resistant stocks that you could possibly have in your portfolio. We recently heard about No Stamp November, right? Where people are getting their EBT cards cut off, and the first thing people said was, "Oh, we're gonna run up into Walmart. We're gonna be looting the shelves." My question to y'all would be, why would you do that to Walmart, of all places? The place that you go to save money when you don't have none. Why would you want to steal and loot that place? Why not loot the higher end stores? Why not go somewhere else? Why would you want to loot Walmart, the place that's giving you the best prices and the best deals for you and your family so that you can survive? Because we're not just talking about groceries. Walmart hits on every other industry as well for the average ordinary consumer, right? Not just groceries. We're talking about everyday household items as well. And quiet is kept. What people don't understand is that Walmart isn't just a traditional retailer anymore. It's not just the place where you go to get groceries and that's it. They have been quietly transforming themselves into a digital powerhouse as well. What are we talking about? We're talking about e-commerce. E-commerce. In the last few years, Walmart's e-commerce sales have exploded. They have skyrocketed. They're up more than 70% since 2020, y'all. That's pandemic times. You could partially thank the pandemic for some of their growth, I'm sure. But since 2020, they're up 70% in e-commerce sales. And guess what? They're still climbing. They position themselves to where they are now the second largest retailer in the United States, right behind, guess who? Amazon. Right behind Amazon. Their online strategy through Walmart Plus, their curbside pickup, their delivery services, their partnerships with third-party sellers, it's starting to pay off for their company and for their brand in major and massive ways. Okay? They have been positioning themselves very, very strategically. They have Walmart Connect advertising, which is a platform that is like, it's another key growth area for them. Think of it like Amazon's ads, right? But for Walmart's online ecosystem. So we're talking about advertising dollars coming in. We're talking about advertising as a high margin business for them. And it's becoming a $1 billion segment for them as well. We're talking about them growing in another way outside of the retailer and consumer part. Again, these are things that the average ordinary consumer does not think about when they think about a company and a business like Walmart. They're growing in more than one way, y'all. These guys are ahead of the game. Quiet is kept. There's nowhere you can go in a state and not find a Walmart. Unless you're going up into the mountains somewhere or you're somewhere off grid, there's typically a Walmart right down the street from whatever hotel you're visiting. And it doesn't stop there. They are branching out into several high growth areas. One of them being healthcare. With Walmart health centers opening up across multiple states. They're moving into primary care, dental, vision, everything. This is a massive long-term opportunity for Walmart. If you go into a Walmart today, you might even see they're usually positioned somewhere where they're over there where the Band-Aids, the deodorant, all of your hygiene products, hair products and stuff like that, your soap. They usually have a separate area right behind all of that where they have their health center. Guess what else they have? They're also building financial technology partnerships. What does that mean? They're giving customers access to low-cost banking and credit services. If you've been a member of Walmart, if you got a good credit score, you may have seen that they have been pushing their credit services, the Walmart credit card. Yeah. They're literally saying, listen, we want a piece of every sector. AI, robotics, data analytics. They're streamlining their inventory, optimizing their pricing, and improving logistics. They have been ahead of the AI technology for a while now. It's making their operation more efficient than ever. It's becoming a huge part of their business. You want to talk AI technology? Walmart is right there. This is a level of diversification that helps them tap into entirely new revenue streams. Okay. And it keeps them competitive in an evolving economy because they're evolving right along with it as a business and an organization. They're using every method that you would expect a growing business that's trying to position themselves for the future to use. AI technology, guess what? We're implementing that as well. We want to be positioned with the best of the best. We want to make sure that we have every possible avenue covered, not only for our consumers, but for our investors as well. That's you and I. The last thing we're going to talk about is the dividends. Okay. Walmart is a dividend aristocrat, meaning that they have raised their dividend for over 50 consecutive years, y'all. That's not easy. 50 consecutive years. I believe their current dividend yield is somewhere between, I think it's about 1.5%. Okay, it's their dividend. But that's not even the most important part. The consistency is what matters here. Because you're not just betting on the growth of the company. You're also getting paychecks while you hold that company in your portfolio. While you wait for the growth of the company, we're going to pay you to do it. Not only that, Walmart consistently buys back their shares. So they're reducing the number of their outstanding shares consistently which increases the value for long-term holders, okay? I think I read that in the last fiscal year, Walmart had repurchased $1 billion worth of their own stock. $1 billion worth of their own stock, which does something. It shows what? It shows their investors, listen, we believe in our company. We believe that we're positioned for the future, and we believe in the stock going forward to where we're buying back our own shares. We're making the shares that you already have more valuable. So the last thing we're going to talk about right here is their performance. Last 5 years, 121%. Up 121% over the last 5 years. So if you had bought Walmart stock back in the pandemic times where the world was on edge and everybody was stuck in the house, you would be up 121%. We're talking about a retailer here. They're not just that anymore. But at the time, most people only consider Walmart as a retailer. That's major for a retailer to be up 121%. Over the year, they're up 27%. Year to date, 17. 1 month, up 3.5%. Okay, up 3.5%. If I were starting a portfolio today, Walmart would be one of the companies. There's 2 companies that I would invest in consistently that I already do. I invest in these 2 companies consistently. Sorry. There's Walmart, and then there's another company, ticker symbol WM, that's Waste Management. Waste Management and Walmart, I think, are 2 companies that you just absolutely cannot go wrong with as an investor. And this is no matter what level you are investing on, whether you are a dividend investor, a growth investor, I just think that you can't go wrong with these 2 companies. That's for me. So for my portfolio, every single week, I invest in those 2 companies automatically. That money comes out automatic because I'm going to be investing in them for the foreseeable future. That's how strongly I believe in both of these companies, right? But let's go over to the forecast. Forecast with 30 analysts that cover Walmart stock. They have a consensus rating of a strong buy with an average price target of $112 per share, which forecasts a 5.87% increase in the stock price over the next year. Considering everything goes well, the lowest target being $91 and the highest at $129. They are considered a strong buy right now. Of course, remember that analysts are just people like you and I. They're just guys that get paid a bunch of money to analyze a company, go over their financials, go over their 10K and see what's going on behind the scenes and assess whether that company is a great buy or not. All right, keep that in mind. So when you see a strong buy rating, it's just from people like you and I. Okay, you would hope that they're doing their due diligence behind the scenes, and that they have their ducks in a row and they're doing their research to make these analysts consensus ratings. You will hope that they're doing everything that they can and that they should be doing to rate these companies without bias. We just talked about the dividend. I don't think this is accurate here on stock analysis. Again, I believe their dividend is a little bit higher than that, but right here it says 0.89%. I think that's inaccurate. But for every share, that you're buying, which the shares of Walmart are $106, for some of you that may be a little pricey, and I understand it. But we have partial shares, y'all. There's literally no excuse anymore. There's no excuse for not buying great companies. It used to be you couldn't go in, you couldn't just buy $10 worth of stock in Walmart. Okay, you couldn't buy $1 worth of stock in Walmart. We are no longer in those prehistoric times, you all. There's literally no excuse not to have smart, reliable, and great companies in your portfolios. No excuse. I don't want to hear it. You can invest literally $1 if you want to into Walmart today. You're getting great growth, expected growth, a great future outlook of growth prospects for this company and their stock price, and you're getting paid while you do it. Listen, for me, this is a no-brainer. For me, you all got to decide what's best for you. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching. I hope you found this content valuable. If so, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I need y'all so that we can get up over that 1K threshold. But we're going to keep showing up and doing the work regardless, right? I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later, y'all.